Hello, guess what? It's week 5, I believe. As you can see, I'm not in my office, and so this is going to be short. I'm at my sister's house for the weekend, and my laptop is not performing, and so I'm having to do this on my iPad, and we'll see how it works because I'm doing it straight to YouTube. In my office, I do it through Screencast-O-Matic and then upload it to YouTube. So here's what we're up to this week, and that is that we have, as far as the week goes, of course, we have the normal forum questions, which I opened yesterday, which was Saturday, and I am in the process of grading last week's. And they are, they're good. I mean, I'm only done number 9 so far, but they're good. And I mean, I did them halfway through the week too, so I didn't get slammed at the end. A number of you all are still waiting until almost midnight on Friday to do all 3. You defeat the whole purpose of what the exercise is for. And so if you wouldn't mind perhaps doing them a little earlier, you would get more discussion. And you're seeing that. You're seeing that those of you that post at 10:59 and 11:18 on Friday night, you get no responses, because then I close it and people don't respond, and they won't go back and respond either. So make sure that you do that you are careful about getting those done. So the test is due today at 5 o'clock. I am still in the process of getting to your article analyses, which will be due next week, and you will have those back before you have to turn in the other one. So don't turn them in early until you're positive what I have said on yours. I do those in, sorry, my brother-in-law has a lot of clocks. He's blind, and it's one of his things that he loves, and so you're going to hear clocks going off probably through this whole thing. I tried to wait till right after the 11 o'clock ones went off, but you may hear a few. Anyway, back to the article analysis. If you're done, just hang on to it, or actually you could turn it in, and then if there are things that you want to change, then you can go ahead and change those. I know I'm looking over to this side and the camera's on that side. You know, it's always backwards on the iPad. So, and then the test, I mean, you know, it's pretty much the same old by now. Y'all are used to the rhythm of what goes on in this class, so we're pretty good. The chapters for this week are chapters 20, oops, I went, let's see here, chapters 22, 23, and 24, and then 25, 26, and 27. Just a couple of things about those, basically because I'm not sure what I'm doing here on the iPad, whether or not it'll transfer, whatever. So let me close that there. 22 is what we move into here is public communication. This should be review for all of you all. All of you all took public speaking. Well, I think all of you all have. I haven't looked at your records, but these are the things you learned in public speaking. Chapter 22 is Aristotle. That's ethos, pathos, and logos, and it's one of the most important aspects of public communication that we teach. You know, and so, you know, you need to be concerned about your ethos, which is your personal image or impression you make as a communicator. It is more than, like the bird in the background, it is more than credibility. Everybody tries to define ethos as only credibility. It's not. It's more than credibility. It's everything you do that sends a message about you as a communicator. So, you know, for example, let's say you're late with everything. That becomes part of your ethos. Let's say you are wonderful at everything and you do everything the way everything should be done, right? That's part of your ethos. Right? And then pathos is the emotional responses, and logos is the logical aspect or the actual information. So, when you're doing a speech, it means aspects of your research. So, there goes another clock. The chapter 23 is, oh, wait a second. You can hear the clock. So it's 11 a.m., so, there we go. Chapter 23 is about dramatism, and that's Kenneth Burke's theory. And what Kenneth Burke deals with is that when we make a public speech, all right, it's like writing a drama. So, and you have the act, and you have the scene, and you have the agency, which is the group that's supporting whatever it is you're talking about. And so those aspects of it make it a whole. It leads to the next chapter, which is the narrative paradigm. So the narrative paradigm is that you have to do, and I try to connect those together because they really do connect together, 23 and 24. The narrative paradigm just talks about how we, when we're giving a speech, people pay more attention if we tell it like a story. So if we tell it like a story, then what we get is we get people involved. Think about it. When you have listened to a speech, people who put little vignettes, little stories in there, right, you pay more attention to. And that's an important aspect of public speaking. In our public speaking classes on campus, and some of y'all may be in one of our online ones, we teach that strongly. There goes another clock. We teach, he's not only blind, he's deaf, so he doesn't really always hear them either. So we'll wait 1 second. There we go, 11. He sets them all at the same time, but it takes him like 15 minutes to go around the whole house that they have here, and so they go off at different times. The idea with the narrative paradigm tying to dramatism is with story making, we pay more attention. So as I was saying, in our courses at Appalachian, COM 2101 and COM 2105, our public speaking classes, we teach from that perspective, that the narrative is the most important part of a speech. I was wrong, there goes another one. And so when you talk about doing a speech, think of it in terms of telling a story. And then, of course, the Aristotelian or Aristotle's theories, the ethos, pathos, and logos, also always tie in there. So those are the first 3 chapters. They're about public communication. Then the next 3 chapters, I got my textbook open on my other iPad since the laptop decided it would die. And these have to do with media. And so when we talk about media, we first of all begin with talking about media and culture. And so we have the concept of media ecology, which media ecology is Marshall McLuhan. So what you're going to do is you're going to see, oh, we're talking about this in 1200, if you're in 1200, or if you've already taken 1200, which some of y'all have told me you have because you transferred from the seated program to the online program, all right, you'll have to recall McLuhan because McLuhan was part of that. So what we get is we get that study of how people use media. And of course, that the actual media that people use sends the message. So the medium is the message, as you know, is McLuhan's approach to that. And so what types of media do people use? Well, what type of media do you use? You're going to notice that I asked test questions and forum questions about tell me or tell us about what media you use. This chapter takes you through the different ages, the tribal age, the electronic age, and all those kinds of things. So basically, it's an introduction to how do we use media. And then the next chapter, this is a pain, having to do it this way. When I'm on my computer in my office, it's a whole lot easier. Is semiotics, which a lot of you all, chapter 26 is Barthus's, I don't know if Barthus is his name, but it's like, how do you do the possessive there? This has to do with how the language, all right, meanings of signs. And a lot of you all talked about, when I asked you which approach do you like the most out of all the 7 that we talked about early on, and a lot of you all chose semiotics. What this does is it looks at media as a use of symbols. So those symbols, all right, are used through media. And what happens? What do the signs that you see signify? And they have a good example of the different types of signs. They go into connotative meaning and denotative meaning. And so, you've got that aspect of, okay, and if you don't know the difference of those, denotative is the literal meaning, or I always say dictionary meaning so you can remember. And then connotative is the meanings that, refers to the meanings that are your emotional responses and those kinds of things. So, but semiotics and especially advertising and movies he goes into. So, I don't know if that's my brother-in-law coming in or the cat. All right, let's see if I can pause this. What were you into? It was the cat. And then the last chapter is chapter 27, and it's the cultural studies, Hall's cultural studies, and it looks at how media creates culture for us. The different types of cultures that we think about. That aspect of hegemony and Marxism, and this one is kind of more abstract than the other ones, but it talks a lot about how corporate control has taken over media. And so when we study media, we have to take those things into account. It also has a good section about individualism because we're an individualistic culture, and then ethnocentrism and how our media helps create that ethnocentrism, and how do we learn to be more objective. It's got a good example about how extreme makeover programs. There's Extreme Makeover Home Edition was one of my favorites, but it uses that as an example of reality TV and what it does. So those are the chapters for this week. I hope I think you'll enjoy these. Like I said, the first 3 are going to be review from your public speaking classes. And don't forget, the test is due tonight at, lots of cars out on highway behind them too. It's a small road, I don't get it. They live in Dahlonega, Georgia. So, but I lost train of thought with the truck. Tests due tonight. I will have I will let you know, but because I don't know what time my surgery is on Wednesday, but I have to have my gallbladder out, and that is Wednesday. And so we may not have the office hour on Wednesday at noon. Not that only one person has come so far and came 2 weeks in a row. Thank you very much. You know who you are. And so I may not be able to do the office hour this Wednesday at noon. And if I don't, I'll put up another time later this week because it's outpatient, and hopefully I won't have any complications. And but anyway, so that's, that Wednesday. Your test due tonight at midnight. Next article analysis due next Sunday at midnight. You will have your article analyses back before that midnight time on next Sunday. So, if you already turned it in and I've marked something on the one that you get back, just go fix it and reload it, because I won't open those until that Sunday, after that Sunday. So if you have any questions, just email me. Answer your forum questions earlier in the week. It's like some of y'all are getting zero discussion. And then I love it because some of you all go way beyond, you're responding to 5, 6, 7, 8 people. And that's cool too, because it means that somebody has said something that sparks a reaction for you to participate. So everybody have a great week. And I'll be back next Sunday with a new video. Bye.